Over 70% of the women I work with are eating less than half the protein their body needs. The men do slightly better, but still most are not getting enough. And that's one of the biggest reasons they're tired, craving sugar, and struggling to lose fat, even on fewer calories. If that sounds familiar, then this video is going to change the way you think about food. Because once you understand how much protein your body actually needs, everything from your energy to your metabolism starts working for you, not against you. So today I'm breaking down the 100-gram protein rule, how much you actually need, what that looks like in real food, and why protein is the most important macronutrient when it comes to reversing insulin resistance. I'm Kait, a nutritionist who helps people balance their blood sugar and reverse insulin resistance naturally. If you've seen my video on how to reverse insulin resistance before 2026, then you already know that insulin resistance isn't just about carbs. It's about how your entire diet and lifestyle affect your metabolism. And protein plays one of the biggest roles in turning things around. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand how much protein your body needs, but also how simple it can be to hit that number, even if you've struggled before. Let's start with the big problem. Almost everyone is under-eating protein. When I ask clients how much they're getting, most think they're getting more than enough. Then we track for a day or two, and it turns out they're only getting around 50 or 60 grams total. That's not even close to enough. For most adults, 100 grams of protein per day is the minimum starting point, not the goal. Ideally, you should be aiming for 1 gram of protein per pound of your ideal body weight. So if your ideal body weight is 140 pounds, then your goal protein for the day should be 140 grams. If it's 160 pounds, then it's 160 grams. But if that sounds overwhelming right now, don't stress. Start with 100 grams per day consistently. You'll feel the difference within a week or two, trust me. Here's why. Protein does far more for your body than just build muscle. It's what keeps you full after meals. It stabilizes blood sugar, it supports your hormones, and it helps your body repair and rebuild every single day. When you don't eat enough, your body has to break down its own muscle tissue to get what it needs. And that slows your metabolism even more. This is part of the reason why so many people will eat less and less over time and still not lose weight. They've lost muscle, which is your body's main glucose burning engine. Combine that with insulin resistance and you've got the perfect storm. Constant hunger, low energy, stubborn fat, and a body that's working against you instead of for you. So if you've ever thought, I'm doing everything right, but I'm still not seeing results, this could be the missing link. You're probably under eating protein. So let's talk about what happens to your body when you don't eat enough protein. Here are some common signs that you're not getting enough. If you feel hungry within an hour or two of eating, you crave sweets, especially mid-afternoon or after dinner. You're losing muscle, even if your weight stays the same. You hit energy crashes throughout the day. And if you have insulin resistance, your fasting blood sugar may even go up when you eat fewer calories. That last one might surprise you, but here's what's going on. When your body doesn't get enough amino acids from food, it becomes more insulin resistant. Muscle tissue is what uses most of the glucose in your blood, so less muscle means less glucose being used. Your blood sugar stays elevated for longer after meals, and your pancreas keeps pumping out more and more insulin to try to control it. So the less muscle you have, the higher your insulin tends to stay. That's why one of the most powerful ways to reverse insulin resistance is to build and maintain your lean muscle. And that starts with eating enough protein daily. Not just after you work out. You can't out-supplement or out-exercise a low-protein diet. And if you fix this one thing, so many other symptoms, hunger, cravings, fatigue, start improving almost immediately. Now, let's make this practical. What does 100 grams of protein actually look like? Because this is where most people get confused. Here's a quick breakdown of some protein-rich foods. 100 grams, or about 3.5 ounces of chicken breast, has 30 grams of protein. 120 grams of salmon, so about 4 ounces, has 28 grams of protein. One large egg has 6 grams of protein, so you need about 5 to hit 30 grams. A scoop of protein powder has 20 to 25 grams of protein. 1 cup of Greek yogurt has 20 to 25 grams. And 100 grams of ground beef, or 3.5 ounces, has 25 to 30 grams of protein. So if you have 2 eggs and some Greek yogurt at breakfast, a chicken salad at lunch, and some salmon for dinner, you will easily hit 100 grams in a day without tracking apps or counting calories. You can also think of it visually. A palm-sized portion of meat or fish gives you roughly 30 grams. So as you can see, this doesn't need to be massive portions or expensive supplements. It's just about being intentional. Start building every meal around protein, and you'll notice your hunger between meals drops dramatically. You won't be thinking about food all day long because your blood sugar and hormones are finally stable. I've had clients tell me that it kind of feels like their appetite turned off. Not because they're restricting, but because their body is finally getting the amino acids it needs. Let's clear up one of the biggest misconceptions, and that's that beans and legumes are a good source of protein. Now, don't get me wrong, you can get some protein from plants, but it's much harder, and it's rarely enough to make a real difference in muscle or insulin sensitivity. Let's take cooked lentils, for example. 1 cup has about 18 grams of protein, but it also comes with 40 grams of carbohydrates. A cup of chickpeas has about 15 grams of protein and 45 grams of carbs. That is a lot of starch and only a little bit of protein. And on top of that, plant protein is less bioavailable. That means your body absorbs and uses a smaller percentage of those amino acids compared to animal proteins. So you have to eat significantly more in order to get the same benefits. And that usually means a lot more carbs and a lot more calories. Animal proteins like eggs, meat, poultry, fish, and dairy are complete proteins. They contain all 9 essential amino acids your body needs to build and repair tissue, balance hormones, and support metabolic function. And they're absorbed efficiently. They trigger muscle protein synthesis better, and they keep you fuller for longer. If your goal is to reverse insulin resistance, improve body composition, and have steady energy, animal protein should be the foundation of your meals. Now, that doesn't mean you can't eat vegetables, nuts, or even legumes if you do enjoy them, but they should complement, not replace, your main protein source. And if you focus on hitting your protein target first, you'll automatically crowd out the foods that spike blood sugar and cause cravings. Quick question, do you actually know how much protein you're getting in a day? Most people are shocked when they finally add it up. It's usually half of what they thought. Let me know in the comments down below. So now, time for some good news. Hitting your protein goal doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need to track calories or use fancy apps. Just focus on hitting your protein target first and everything else will fall into place. If you aim for 30 to 50 grams per meal and make sure there's protein on your plate 2 or 3 times a day, you'll almost always hit 100 grams without even trying. That's it. No calorie math, no macro spreadsheets. It really is simple. So here's an example of what that might look like in a day. For breakfast, you could have 2 eggs with some Greek yogurt or a scoop of protein powder in a smoothie. For lunch, chicken or tuna salad with olive oil and veggies. And dinner could be a steak or salmon with roasted vegetables and avocado. That will take you to 100 to 150 grams of protein, depending on your portion size. And this framework fits into any eating style because it's based on nutrients, not on labels. And one of the reasons it works so well if you're insulin resistant is that protein directly affects your hunger hormones. When you eat enough protein, your GLP-1, which is the hormone that helps you feel full, naturally rises, while ghrelin, the hunger hormone, drops. You start eating less automatically, not because you're forcing it, but because your hormones are doing the work for you. The more protein you eat consistently, the easier it becomes to maintain stable blood sugar, burn fat, and rebuild muscle. And that's the foundation of improving insulin sensitivity long term. Okay, we've covered a lot in today's video, so let's quickly recap so you don't forget anything. The first thing to remember is that most people are under-eating protein, which leads to hunger, cravings, fatigue, and stalled progress. So you want to start with 100 grams a day as a baseline, or aim for 1 gram per pound of your ideal body weight. Build each meal around high-quality protein sources like eggs, meat, or fish. This is because animal proteins are more bioavailable, more effective for muscle and insulin sensitivity, and keep you full longer than plant proteins. And remember, you don't need to track calories. Just hit your protein goal consistently and everything else will fall into place. When you start applying this, you'll notice that your hunger stabilizes, your cravings fade, and you stay energized all day long. This one shift, prioritizing protein, can completely change your relationship with food. Now, if you found this video helpful, make sure to check out my video on how to reverse insulin resistance by 2026 next. It shows how to combine this protein strategy with other habit changes so you can completely reset your metabolism. And if you haven't yet, check out my video on morning habits that might be keeping you stuck. It's a great follow-up to help make sure you're starting your day with stable blood sugar and setting yourself up for success all day long.